The beauty and entertainment world was thrown into a storm when two influencers managed to turn what should have been one of the most glamorous launches of the year into a headline-grabbing spectacle that no one saw coming, and the ripple effect of what happened that night is still being felt across social media feeds everywhere. So buckle up, because this is a story that moves fast, gets messy, and refuses to be forgotten. And hit that subscribe button right now, because the details here are going to leave your jaw on the floor. Starting with the fact that it all began during Selena Gomez's highly anticipated rare beauty fragrance debut, an event designed to dazzle, connect, and celebrate, bringing together some of the biggest names in beauty, television, and online influence for what was supposed to be a flawless evening of champagne toasts, photo ops, and content-worthy moments, with the venue perfectly arranged to showcase the brand's new scents in a luxurious display area that shimmered under soft lighting, every table dressed in pastel florals, every guest greeted with personalized gift bags, and the atmosphere humming with excitement as cameras flashed and influencers live-streamed their arrivals. But beneath all that sparkle, trouble was quietly brewing, and it started when Mendoza, a fast-rising TikTok beauty creator admired for his innovative makeup looks and precision artistry, found himself face-to-face with Nick from Love Island, a reality TV personality known for his confident presence and sometimes blunt demeanor, and at first the interaction seemed harmless, a casual greeting exchanged near the main fragrance display, but it took only seconds for the mood to shift when Nick, perhaps without thinking or perhaps with a hint of provocation, decided to compare Mendoza's appearance to James Charles, a remark that instantly cut through the polite chatter and landed with a weight that was impossible to ignore, especially for someone who has worked hard to craft his own creative identity. And Mendoza's reaction was immediate, his expression tightening as he processed what he had just heard, quickly pulling out his phone to record a video capturing his raw response, speaking directly to his followers with a mix of disbelief and frustration, questioning why such a comparison was made at all and pointing out that, in his view, he and James Charles looked nothing alike. His voice carrying the sting of being misidentified in a space where individuality is currency, and behind the camera, the buzz of the event continued, but for Mendoza the moment had already shifted into something personal, the comment echoing in his mind as he considered the possibility that it wasn't just an offhand remark but perhaps a subtle jab, and in the minutes that followed, he began openly speculating about what might have motivated Nick to say it, suggesting that Nick's familiarity with James Charles could hint at a closer relationship than the public knew, a suggestion that immediately added fuel to the fire and gave the story a second life beyond a simple awkward exchange. And while guests continued sipping cocktails and posing for photographers, whispers about the interaction spread, some attendees noticing that Nick, after walking away, seemed to be laughing and gesturing in Mendoza's direction from across the room, behavior that several interpreted as mocking, which, in the context of a professional brand event, struck many as inappropriate and unnecessary, and the tension only deepened when Mendoza, in subsequent comments recorded later that night and into the next day, began making pointed remarks about both Nick and James Charles, touching on their appearances and certain personality traits in ways that some felt crossed a line, with critics saying such comments were more personal than professional. And as soon as these videos hit social platforms, the reaction was explosive, splitting viewers into two loud camps, one firmly defending Mendoza's right to stand up for himself against what they viewed as unprovoked disrespect, arguing that being compared to another creator, especially in a manner that felt mocking, was an insult that deserved to be addressed, while the other side accused Mendoza of escalating the situation unnecessarily, saying that bringing up unverified personal connections and making remarks about looks was inappropriate and damaging, and that a private conversation or even involving event security would have been a more professional route. Yet by that point the situation had already taken on a life of its own, hashtags emerging, clips being reposted, and TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram filling with takes from beauty fans, reality TV watchers, and gossip accounts alike, each dissecting every moment that had been captured on video. And while Selena Gomez herself stayed completely out of the drama, sources close to her team confirmed she didn't even hear about the incident until it had already gone viral, making it clear that rare beauty events are handled by the marketing department with guest lists determined by audience reach and brand alignment rather than any personal friendships, which explained why both Mendoza and Nick, despite having no prior connection, had been invited. their followings fitting perfectly into the demographic Rare Beauty wanted to reach, and industry insiders, watching the chaos unfold, began weighing in on the importance of keeping brand gatherings professional, pointing out that these launches aren't just about showing off new products, they're about forging relationships, creating collaborative opportunities, and strengthening reputations, and when drama overshadows the main purpose, it can ripple out and affect not only the individuals at the center but also the brand hosting the event, and in this case, the night's focus shifted from perfume to personal conflict in record time, something that's become all too common in today's influencer-driven culture where the collision of different entertainment worlds, like beauty influencers and reality television stars, can create combustible situations, especially when audience expectations and professional norms don't align, and Mendoza's initial video alone racked up millions of views within hours. A clear sign of just how quickly drama can spread in a hyper-connected environment, with the James Charles comparison becoming the central talking point for countless debates, some viewers arguing that the resemblance was obvious while others insisted there was none, and the conversation broadened into discussions about identity in the beauty community and the ongoing struggle for creators to differentiate themselves in a crowded market, and through it all, James Charles himself stayed silent, refusing to be pulled into the narrative despite being a constant reference point in the surrounding content, a choice many saw as a smart move to avoid adding more fuel to an already raging fire, and as the story kept evolving, the Love Island connection ensured that it reached audiences well outside the beauty world, with reality TV fans weighing in on Nick's behavior, some defending him as just joking, others condemning him for being disrespectful, and soon enough even event security protocols were being questioned, with people asking whether organizers had proper systems to defuse tensions between guests. Especially when mixing personalities from different industries, and by the following days, the conversation had shifted to how both parties could have handled things differently, experienced industry voices suggesting that a discreet conversation away from cameras or mediation through event staff would have kept things from spiraling, but public spectacle had already taken over, and now the focus was as much on how each would recover as on what had actually happened, with brand partnerships, sponsorship deals, and long-term reputations potentially on the line, a reminder that in influencer culture, one moment caught on video can stick far longer than the emotions that caused it, and fans of both began offering advice, urging Mendoza to channel his energy back into content creation and collaborations, while telling Nick to show more awareness when navigating professional spaces, and through it all, Rare Beauty managed to keep its public image intact, with the fragrance launch itself still earning glowing reviews from beauty editors and enthusiasts, proving that strong brand management can survive even a messy night, but the incident still stands as a crystal-clear example of how easily an evening meant for celebration can be overtaken by personal clashes and social media amplification, turning a brand milestone into a trending topic for all the wrong reasons. And if you're hooked on stories like this, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next time the beauty world and pop culture collide in spectacular fashion, because the way influencer dynamics play out in real time is only getting more unpredictable, and as the dust began to settle, conversations continued about respect, accountability, and the fine balance between personal expression and professional decorum, with everyone watching to see whether this would be remembered as a temporary flare-up or a lasting mark on the careers involved. But if there's one thing the night made clear, it's that in today's digital landscape, every word, every glance, and every offhand remark has the potential to be recorded, shared, and dissected by millions, and that reality shows no signs of slowing down.